Today we are going to be talking about what is paganism. And I also have with me the fabulous Dax Carlisle. Hi, Dax. We love
I
having you on
am.
here.
I'm still waking up. I got my coffee.
Mine's on its
Mm.
way. It's being made.
Oh, yeah. I knew Dan was good for something. Anyway,
He's the
welcome to the
coffee man.
cafe. Come on in, grab your coffee or tea, and pull up a chair and hang out with us.
Yeah.
Michelle's Mystic Corner. Yay.
Yay.
So,
So
no intro
today,
music. No intro music. That means, yep, Blog Talk Radio is broke. It's down again. Same thing happened on Thursday when Ellie was with us. I was
yeah,
hoping it was going to work for your show.
yeah,
It's
yeah, me too.
not.
Nope.
We've been dealing with this since January,
Yeah, it's been,
all year.
yep.
Actually, before it was the last week in December, it wasn't working either.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, yeah.
So paganism, and we get to hear about your particular.
Thank you.
Oh, we have incoming coffee. Look at the size of that cup too.
Coffee.
I
Yes.
can't see. Let's see. Got the clown.
Yes, it is. That is Pennywise.
It's Pennywise. Yep, I remember that. Oh my gosh. Shawnette just came in. Hey, Sean.
Hi, Shawnette.
Dan's in the chat. Yes, we are taking questions today, even though we have a topic. So, go ahead, start putting it in there. Type in a
Yeah.
question, or maybe you just want a message from the universe or like a message from your guides or angels. Just let us know in the chat and we'll get to that when we get to it. Oh, I got a message for today.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
what did you get?
Did you pull cards?
I have not yet. I have them in my hands.
Interesting combination. I got the 10 of Pentacles and the 4 of Pentacles. So 4 is structure, of course. 10 is, after the end of the cycle at 9, it's like that hairbreadth moment before 1, because 10 actually reduces to 1 in numerology. There really is no 10 or higher numbers for that matter. All large numbers get reduced by adding the digits together, and keep adding the digits together till you get to a single digit, unless you get down to a couple of digits like 22, 11, 44, or 33. Those are master numbers. But normally we're going down to a single digit. So 10 is really 1. But this is a special case where us numerologists, let tarot get away with this, where we have 10. Sometimes it means overkill. Okay. So you got a situation going here where, the 10 of Pentacles represents wealth, prosperity, abundance, family legacy, and inherited wealth. 4 of Pentacles represents material security and stability, but also sometimes it can mean holding on too tight to something. Yeah. So this combination can indicate financial stability and security achieved through hard work, diligence, and caretaking. Your mentality. Yeah, it's not all about the physical, right? Sometimes it could be, with the overkill aspect I was talking about, where there's a lack of generosity. Yeah. But that's the message I'm getting today, and you guys can apply it to your current life situations. What about you, Michelle?
Well, it's really interesting. I got the Seven of Wands and Justice. And so I feel like somebody out there is fighting against themselves, because you have the wand in your hand, but you're fighting against all the wands. And so you're fighting against yourself. And what you need to do with the Justice card is get yourself into balance. And so just take time and meditate, or take a salt bath, and really connect to your higher self and
Mm-hmm.
just bring yourself into the core of who you are.
Cool, cool, cool. Awesome sauce. I'm just doing some shuffling. I like to shuffle the cards that I got with the message for the day. Shuffle them back in
Right.
so they can show up during. Sometimes they show up during the show, for folks asking questions in the chat. Oh, it gets to be really interesting
It
sometimes.
really does.
Yep. And by the way, you may be watching us live, but most of you are probably watching us later in archive. So, whether it's 2 days from now or 2 months from now or 2 years from now that you're watching this, these messages we just gave are for you. It's not by accident you found this. Uh,
No, no, it's not.
Sean says, I just bought some more salt to take a salt bath tonight.
Nice. Right on.
Cool. Okay.
Okay.
I'm giving it a knock and I'm shuffling here. And okay. Putting the cards. All right. More coffee. Mm,
All right.
yes.
So I don't know how many people know the difference between paganism, Wicca, spirituality. I mean, for a lot of people, it all falls under the same category. Um,
They lump it all together.
they do, and you can do that, but I do have handouts. I don't know if it ever got loaded up to Mystic Corner.
I don't know.
Um,
I don't know. You would have had to have done that.
I
I
don't think I did yet, so
I
I
didn't know
will
you
do
had
that.
handouts. We would have made PDFs.
I should have sent that to you. I'm so sorry. It has been a rough week, guys.
It
Okay.
has. I've been so busy. I remember you mentioning about the handouts.
Yep.
You were going to send them to me, but I didn't notice that you didn't because I was so busy with everything else.
Yep.
Not stuff with Psychic Cafe and the Tarot Guild, but with my American Legion post and all
Life in
kinds of
general,
crazy,
right?
just
Yeah.
crazy stuff.
So I will post these after the show today. So we're going to go over what is paganism. So paganism is an umbrella term.
Oh,
And
okay.
what it is paganism is an umbrella term for any belief, religion, lifestyle that is not of the Abrahamic faith. And for those who do not know what that is like Judaism, Christianity, Islam, the single God religions. Um, so anything that is not of that is considered paganism. So you have atheism is paganism, you have witchcraft is paganism, Wicca is paganism, spirituality is paganism, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have a wide variety. And so the first handout I have, you'll see we have the umbrella and then a couple of the terms. And then on the second page, so atheism is no belief in the existence of any deity.
Right.
Okay. Witchcraft is the use of magic, supernatural powers, that sort of thing. Spirituality is the life of a spiritual path that you choose. And then Wiccan is the modern religion based on spiritual living. So basically, you can be, and say, I have this written down because saying it is so not easy. So with this, you can see that someone can be a pagan but not a witch. Someone can be a witch and not practice witchcraft. Um, Someone can be an atheist and they're still a pagan. So there's so many different things that you can be, and you're still a pagan. And it
Right.
all
And
falls under that.
I would say that the term has evolved and meant similar, but more restricted, meaning if you go back, 100, 200 years, 300 years, um, modern
Yes.
paganism includes a respect for Mother Earth and, you know, basically any belief or practice, uh, but especially like nature worship. That used to be one of
Yes.
the big aspects where it's not necessarily today, but it still can be, of course.
So my lifestyle is the pagan spiritual lifestyle. Um, it is very parallel, very similar to Wicca,
Mm,
except for it has none of the religion in it.
mm,
It is nature loving. Um, we follow the moon phases, we do the holidays, the Sabbats. We love nature, we love the astrology, the witchcraft in it. We just don't necessarily believe in the religious aspect
right. Oh,
because
like here's an example, for instance. You could be a Taoist or a Buddhist, but not follow any of the religious aspects, such as gods and goddesses and anything like that,
exactly.
because they actually have those in
Hmm.
those religions in the East. And a lot of us over here in the West, we aren't aware of that. We think of Buddhism and Taoism to lack any theism, but not necessarily in the East. They actually have deities and so forth like that. So I can see that where in paganism you could depending on the aspect, which version, you could believe in deities or not believe in deities.
Right, right. And I myself believe more in a source, energy.
Mm-hmm.
It just more of the energetic vibe, that vibration, because that's just where I travel. That's my beliefs. So, but that's for me. And I'm not saying that gods and demigods are not real. I'm not saying that they do not exist. I'm just saying that above that is the source, what other people would call God or
Mm-hmm.
Allah, or, whatever they want, an essence.
Mm-hmm.
There, it all boils down to there's just something out there.
Yeah. I mean, I was raised Catholic, but around 12, 13, I was like reading and learning some things, and I'm like, wait a minute. And then along comes Star Wars.
Yes.
So I saw Star Wars, literally in the theater when it first came. Yes, I'm really old. And for me, it was a religious experience. In the movie, when they're talking about the Force, you know, Obi-Wan, um, I'm listening to this and I'm like 12, 13 years old. And I'm like, that makes a lot more sense than anything I've heard from anyone up to this point. I think George Lucas hit it on the nail. And then years later in college, I'm learning about the quantum field and the 0 point field in science, in physics, actually. And they're talking about, this is small particle physics, the particles that make up the atoms that make, that make up the material that makes up everything in the physical universe. And then they start
Right.
talking. they start talking about some like really weird stuff in quantum physics. They start talking about how, okay, you're in middle school, or not middle school, you're in like elementary school, and we used to have the toothpicks and the styrofoam balls, and we put them together to make atoms.
Yeah.
No,
Yep.
but then they taught us about, well, the atoms, there's protons, neutrons, electrons, and then even tinier particles. Well, what they don't tell you about at that level, it's not till you get into university, or if you're like in AP classes in high school, that well, those particles that make up the atoms, well, they actually aren't there. They are, and then they aren't. They pop in and out of existence, and they could be a waveform or a particle, and it doesn't collapse into a particle until it's observed by an observer, by
Hmm.
consciousness. Oh, these particles popping in and out, where are they coming from? Oh, well, they're coming from this invisible field called the quantum field, sometimes called the 0 point field.
Hmm.
And I'm like listening to this, and I'm going, wait a minute, you're just describing the spiritual realm, as above so below,
Yep.
and the manifestation of the physical universe out of spirit and consciousness. And so
Exactly.
when they talk about the 0 point field, the quantum field, it's the spiritual realm. It is, literally the force.
Right. It makes so much sense.
So we come all the way back to Star Wars.
We do.
Yep, yep, yep. So, my beliefs are closer to your beliefs than anything else, really.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it is very, the as above, so below. And we have the universe, but we have the earth, and we still have to take care of this earth. And we can connect with the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the nature of loving the earth comes in, and grounding. And I love grounding. That's one of my favorite things. That's why I like spring and summer, um, so I can get my feet dirty.
Mm.
But now there is this thing I've heard.
I like the water.
I do too, but I want to try this, and I don't know if it's going to work. So you're supposed to take a nail, and you stick it in the ground, and then you run a wire. You spin a wire, and you run it up through your window and into your bed. I know, hear me out. It's crazy. And you get this electrical tape. It's silver. It's not electric tape. It's like some sort of duct tape. And you lay it under your mattress, right? And it's supposed to help ground you while you sleep. So
I
this
was
is
gonna
a
say, when you were describing the nail and wrapping the wire around, it's like that's a ground.
yes. So it's supposed to help you ground while you're sleeping. And I do want to give it a try. I know I did not explain that right, but yeah, it's an experiment I want to try.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another, see, paganism has all sorts of fun stuff in it that just is
There's a
unique.
there's another aspect that actually what you just described uh falls into one of the aspects of this versus, religions. And, most of the Judeo-Christian, Muslim, the big three uh my mind is blanked. What do they call it? The
Uh, Christianity,
yeah,
Judaism,
yeah,
Islam.
but the Abrahamic religions is what they refer to it as,
Yes.
and it's also monotheism. But
Oh,
what you described in doing that experiment is a perfect example. Okay, when you experiment, you experience directly, which is
yeah.
how science works too. So the atheists that have no belief in deities, okay, everything they know is from experience. They want the scientific method, but there are folks out there that they're spiritual, but they do it through experience versus um, religions, and especially the Abrahamic religions, where it's faith.
Hmm.
So we are told a thing is a thing because it was written down by somebody thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
And we are told to believe in something and not necessarily with any evidence. And that's quote unquote having faith. All
Yes.
right. But the early Christians, actually, the Gnostics, Gnostic means knowledge in Greek, and the Gnostics were into direct experience of the divine. And see, that's the huge difference right there. I believe in what I can experience. And certain practices like tarot is direct experience of the divine.
Yeah.
And any experimentation you're doing, whether you're Wicca and you're doing rituals, or whether more earth based, and let's say you're doing an experiment like your grounding experiment, it works or it doesn't work. You experience something or you don't experience something.
Exactly.
Yep. Deviani, Deviani. I hope I'm saying that right. Deviani's back. Hi, Deviani. Yes. But so I'm in the same boat, really. I don't use the term paganism. There's other connotations to it. Like, if you talk to the average atheist, they're not going to be on board with being called
Right.
pagan,
Exactly. Not at all.
yeah, because they want um no belief
Yeah.
but direct experience of anything, you know. But
Hmm.
the experiences are available. They are out there. You can experiment with your own mind, doing self hypnosis, or
Oh, yeah.
going to a professional hypnotist, going to sleep at night and programming your dreams, and you get experiences. And sometimes dreams can just be um, jumbled up rehashing of today's or yesterday's events, or like that. But you can tell when you're in that other kind of dream. Like, I had one last night. I mean, I almost missed the show because I was going to wake up at like 7 or something, and it was like 9:30. I had
Oh,
like
goodness.
an hour and a half before the show. I needed to make coffee really bad. And it's because, and I went to bed early, but it was because of this intense dream. And there was things in this dream that I would have never have thought of consciously. So I know it's not me reliving my own experience. It's something completely different,
Hmm.
you know. And then you can try ayahuasca and other hallucinogenics. You can go uh, seek out shamans in Peru, and go through these experiences
Mm-hmm.
and but barring travel and doing these extreme things, there's a lot of things you can do at home,
It
you know.
really is.
Yes. Like just studying sacred geometry. When you
Yeah.
when you study sacred geometry, and it really helps if you take a compass and a piece of paper and draw out the geometric patterns physically yourself on paper.
Hmm.
And you'll start to have insights and experiences just from that. Observe nature and look for the patterns, look for the repeating Fibonacci sequences, look for sacred geometry in nature. It's everywhere.
It is amazing.
It's everywhere. Practice tarot, study numerology, do all your friends and families numerology charts, and
Yeah.
you'll be shocked, and so now you're having direct experience of the divine versus just believing that it's a certain way with no evidence.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, I always chuckle because people talk about having faith and faith being this positive thing, and I understand where they're coming from. Intellectually I can understand that, but in reality, uh belief's not that great. It's much better to experience it directly,
It really is.
and it's all there.
Yeah.
Sean says, I like to watch the trees change. You learn so much from them. And she said, yes, I see it when I take my nature walks in the morning.
I take my granddaughter to school every day, and on my way, there is a weeping willow tree.
Mm-hmm.
And this tree is so beautiful. And I watch it every day. I see it go through its phases, all, living, dying, coming back. And it just is my favorite tree. It is so beautiful. And that is the tree that I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to use in my Lenormand deck.
Oh, so Sean said, me too. I had a crazy dream last night. And I'm
Oh,
and I'm still trying to understand what it meant. Oh, maybe we can pull cards on this.
hmm.
So she says, I had a dream. I gave birth to a boy. I It felt so real. I could literally feel them putting the epidural in my back. Okay, this is taking experience a little too far. Okay, an epidural. Oh my god. Oh my god. But yeah, what could that mean? Pull some cards, see what you get. Pull some cards. I'm just curious. Oh, and she has another interesting thing. Would Hinduism and Buddhism, and of course I had thrown in Taoism, be considered forms of paganism? Well, the way paganists, uh, the way pagans umbrella ties things. That's not even
Uh-huh.
anyway. Like Michelle did, yeah, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, if you're in one of if you're in one of the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, Muslim, they lump everything in paganism.
Yeah.
Um, is it really? Well, I mean, it is the way they use the word paganism, but you know, not really, not really. In fact, some of those are more of a philosophy than
Huh.
than a religion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in India, I feel like a lot of Hindu, and there are lots of gods and goddesses in Hinduism, and Hinduism and Buddhism, are side by side there, and I don't know how much they blend, But you go into other countries and you just have the Buddhist part of it. Buddha was not a deity. Okay. And it's a religion, like we consider it a religion. I don't know if it's really a religion though, although in societies that have Buddhism, they have deities sometimes, like they'll have household deities and so forth. In Japan, you have Shinto and Buddhism right there, and Taoism in China. You know, Taoism and Buddhism kind of merged together, but they were really separate things. Still are, depending on the practitioner, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't consider them paganism, but they're they can be followed without the religious aspect. Like there's a whole philosophy to Taoism and Buddhism, and you don't have to believe in any deities in order to um, follow that aspect of it, the philosophy aspect. Oh, I heard a doggy. Sahani just came in. Yes, correct. I'm Hindu as well, though Hinduism comes from Sanathan Dharma and Dharam, and Buddhism also connected from there too, as much I know. So Dan says the singular God followers lump anything other than how they believe into paganism. Yeah, yeah. And that's unlike the real meaning of words. Okay. What's going on with the monotheistic religions is that that's an aspect of their religion where their way is the only right way,
Mm-hmm.
and everything else is false and therefore lumped under one umbrella. There's a word for that too, and I can't think of what it is off top of my head.
Yeah,
What
I can't either.
what Christians, going back 100 years or even 1,000 years, what they used to, call everybody else. There's actually a word for that, and it's just can't think of it right now. Someone in chat might remember.
Evens.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good example. I thought there was another word, but heathen is a really good uh catch term, example of what I'm talking about, where they lump everything together, everything else. So like, when we met the Hawaiians and they had their religious beliefs, they're heathens.
Yep.
Native Americans with their beliefs, heathens. Everything's heathen,
Yep.
you know. But those outside of the monotheistic religions, don't use those terms in the same way. Like, depending on whether you consider yourself pagan or not, you wouldn't necessarily lump everything under paganism, for instance, as an
Right.
example. Dan said Aborigines, African tribes, natives of any country. Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's mislabeled. Oh, Sean said, I know what you're thinking of, but I can't think of the word either. Yeah. But we'll just go with heathen. That's a
Yeah.
perfect,
I like it. Yep.
yeah. I mean, that might have been it. That might have been what I
I
was
think it is. That just seems to pop into my head, and I grew up in pretty strict Christianity, so
saying. And Sanatana Dharma is a Sanskrit term that is used by some Hindus to refer to Hinduism. It's also used by Jains and Buddhists. Oh, that's very
hmm,
interesting. That's from Suhani. And yeah, the
Okay.
Sanskrit predates everything.
Yeah.
And they have the best in, from what I've read all religions, and they have the best um creation mythology
Mm.
and stories of creation. Oh, it's really, really good. um and I was just trying to think of geez, like in Iran, before it was Iran, um Babylonian,
Yeah.
but pre-Babylonian, um going back like
Yeah.
10,000 years. Yeah, their creation stories and everything are much better, much more filled out. Like, if you read all of that stuff and then you read like Genesis,
Yeah.
you can see where Genesis is um taking the 500-page book and squeezing it down into cliff notes.
Yep.
That's basically it. Yep. Almost every society has a flood story, for instance, as an example.
And there's several virgin births of some sort.
Oh yeah, all
Oh
all
yeah.
over the place, all
Oh
over
yeah.
the Yes, it's hmm, you
I
can
learned that in my world religions class at college. We had
mhm.
so much fun.
You can really go down the rabbit hole
Mm-hmm.
on this stuff, and we're not here to tell people what to think or believe, or what have you, but a consistent theme at the Tarot Guild and Psychic Cafe is experience,
Yes.
direct experience. You don't need a book or a set of beliefs or stories to tell you. You can experience it directly yourself.
And
If you study sacred geometry and then you start looking out there in the real world,
I have
everything from macroscopic nature, down to the microscopic, down to particle physics.
mm-hmm.
If you study particle physics, study nature. I'm looking out the window. That's why I'm looking over here, because I'm seeing nature out there and the trees and everything. Uh,
Right. Yep.
and the plants and the animals, insects, and the proportions and designs of their bodies, aquatic animals and fish, and
Oh yeah.
absolute birds, absolutely everything has the same sacred geometry to it. And then you
Yep.
start looking at things like particle physics, where they will tell you two particles, once they've met, you can send one particle 1,000, 1,000,000 miles away. And what you do to this particle, a spin you put on it, like counterclockwise, that other particle, when you look at it, it's going to be doing the same thing. Einstein called that, trying to remember the exact term that he used. I can't remember exactly, but paraphrasing, like, spooky effect at a distance. I can't remember exactly how he worded it.
Almost like a magnetic effect.
No, it's not magnetic. It's
Um,
subatomic particle, but
right. It's just another word. It's just, yeah.
yeah, it's like I might be able to see if I can look up Einstein. Spooky action at a distance. That's the way
Oh, okay.
it's
Okay.
just
Yeah,
spooky
that's
action at a distance. So you study that, and then remember I said earlier, particles don't appear as particles until you observe them. That's called
Yep.
the observer effect. Also, the particles are simultaneously existing as waveforms and particles, and they're arising out of a quantum field and then collapsing. They're disappearing into the field and coming out of the field. So any physical object, it seems solid, but we learned in elementary school, I will never forget this. And we're going back a little ways here, you know. um our science teacher, he took us out onto the playground. I mean, we literally had fields, and I mean, it was ginormous at our school. And remember the styrofoam particle, you know, like you'd have the protons and the electrons and the neutrons, you know,
Oh yeah.
like we were talking about earlier. I mentioned the styrofoam balls put together with toothpicks, right?
Yep.
So he walked out there with one of these balls, you know, he says, this is the nucleus, this is the protons and the neutrons. If this was actual size, the electron would be way over there, circling around almost a mile away. And so we could visualize what an atom was. He's holding this and describing the electrons flying around this. And right away, you got this feeling of space, and realized that the majority of the atom, 99% of it is nothing. It is empty space. So when we have this solid object, it's made up of substance, it's made up of molecules, it's made up of atoms. And 99% of those atoms is just empty space. You know, and
Yep.
right away, I had this feeling of, I'm a little kid, you know, and I had this feeling of that everything in existence then is just holographic. It's not real, you know, especially that's the hard atomic explanation of atoms. But then later on, when you get into particle physics and you start learning about all of that, that's when you find out that, but even the particles, the styrofoam balls he was holding, and then imagining the electron flying around, even that's not happening. The electron flying around the protons and the neutrons is at every single possible point, all at the same time, until you observe it. And then boom, oh, look, there's the electron. And that's why we have particle accelerators, so we can bang them together. And then they take a picture and you can actually see it. Otherwise you can't see it, you know. And you get that slight twist then, you know, it's like, oh, okay, I understand material is made up of substances, made up of molecules, made up of atoms, and then these atoms are created by protons, neutrons, and electrons. Well, it's not that simple. They break down into neutrinos, and like, I mean, just like all of these, you know, the boson particle, and they call it the God particle, and all these other particles and things, right? And that's the hard hypothesis, which was, you know, the original. But after they started doing particle physics and learned all these other aspects, then you're starting to learn other things that these particles not existent. They're popping in and out of existence. They might be a waveform, they might be a particle. They're popping in and out of existence out of this 0 point field, this quantum field. And then that's the aha moment.
Hmm.
That what we're living in is just it's created. And it's being created every microsecond, out of nothingness.
Right.
And some people would call that the spiritual realm, or some people would call it the force. Scientists, quantum field, 0 point field. I just think it's consciousness.
Right. Yep.
And the scientists that are trying to understand consciousness, the neuroscientists, and they think of consciousness arising from the physicality, from like the brain. And we've got it completely backwards. And that's why they'll never figure it out. I mean, they will eventually, but not until they start
Yeah.
including consciousness.
Right.
And so we have it backwards. Before there was humans, and before there was living creatures, and before there was planets and suns and asteroids, and before there was the universe, there was consciousness. It we and everything in the universe comes from consciousness, not the other way around. Even spiritual people get this wrong. How many spiritual people talk about their soul inside
Mm-hmm. Yep. Everybody does.
and their consciousness? In reality, the physical body exists in our consciousness, not the other way around. Our consciousness is out here.
Hmm.
And it's part of why some people can see auras. The physical body is being created from the consciousness
Right.
every microsecond. And the body you have now is not the body you had 30 years ago. It's completely different, even though it appears to be the same. That's because of the pattern in the consciousness. So even spiritual people get it wrong.
Yep.
Yep. Dax
Well,
should do a show dedicated to Big Bang Theory.
yes.
Well, the funny
Well,
thing is scientists, a lot of them want to throw out the Big Bang Theory now too. It's very interesting. Sean says that makes so much sense.
right.
Suhani said, I had one question too. What you believe about the thing that some people say that energies are different, powerful in parentheses, on Halloween, and ghosts, more like negative spirits, can be powerful too. So I think she's talking about the concept of, and this is something great for you to talk about on your shows next month for Halloween. See, Michelle's going to do Halloween shows for
I
her
am.
her two Michelle's Mystic Corners next month. And
Unless I do four.
this is
Hmm.
referring to the thinning of the veil, they call it.
Yes.
You know, and it's a concept that goes way back. I don't know if I personally believe in that, but then again, I try not to believe in anything. I either experience it or I don't. So,
Right.
so maybe I just haven't experienced it yet.
Well,
Um,
and I haven't experienced it myself. I mean, I
yeah, and
either communicate with spirits or I don't. It's
right. And
not
see, I think you can do that anytime. Oh, and some people actually talk about on a 24-hour day basis that at certain points it's easier to do mediumship than in others. And hey, I got to go with what they're telling me because they've experienced it and I've not. However, Sahani then asked, like, what actually happens around that time and how we say that time is powerful. See, that's the thing. People are saying that. That doesn't mean that it is.
it's so
And I've never here one thing before you say something, Michelle, to give you some more information and you can respond to this. They never explain why, other than it just so happens that, Day of the Dead, All
Uh-huh.
Saints Day, there's another one. Anyway, they all happen around the same time, but they don't say how, why. I've not gotten a good explanation for that. Do you know anything
No,
about that?
no. And it's the Day of the Dead is, I want to say, a different culture that, but I'm not positive. I think a couple of my daughters are all into it, but I've never.
So now you have your work cut out for you, your homework.
Yeah,
You
I do.
need to you need to look up on Google and find out details on why there's the thinning of the veil around.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
personally, I think it's mythology. However, I'm open-minded because when I experience something, therefore I know. It's called gnosis, and I consider myself a Gnostic minister. I believe in direct experience with the divine, and you can use tarot for that. In fact, there's a famous Jewish Kabbalist that said, when he was asked, what he thinks of the tarot, or what is tarot, he sat and thought for a second, and then he said, a way to communicate with God.
Yeah.
And that's from a high Jewish mystic, Kabbalist. Dan says, Stacks, your belief is in the physical, what you see, hear, touch, and taste. Absolutely not. That is a mischaracterization. That would put me in the category of atheist. Okay. And although I say I believe what I experience, there's no belief in there. It's, or at least no faith, no belief without experience. Okay. Um, because there's a lot that is not something physical that I can taste, touch, hear, see. There's a lot that I've experienced and I know is there, but I can't physically touch it or see it. But I've experienced it, so therefore I know. That's the difference. And Sean says, that's how I feel. Sahani says, same. That's what I asked. I used to think somewhere it might be connected to the moon cycle. Yeah, but there's moon cycles every single month, and Halloween only is at one
It
point.
once a year.
So what makes that so special? Why is that when there's the thinning of the veil? Why is it not some other time? There's
Right.
got to be an explanation, which is probably in some mythology that goes way back. But
Hmm.
Shell's going to let us know next month because she's going to do the homework.
Yep.
I love giving her homework. Look. And she said, like the full moon, they say the same thing. See, now with the full moon thing, that makes sense
Yeah.
because when the moon is fullest and is physically closest to the earth, what happens is there's and you can directly experience it because you see the effect on tides. So
Yep.
there is a gravimetrical effect. Gravity from the moon is affecting what's happening on the planets. And we are, the water, the tide, we are made of water, folks, like 60, 70%. It depends on who you ask, anywhere from 50, 60% to 80 some percent of our physical body is water, including in our brain, right? And so if the moon can affect the tides, all you have to do is go to any ER, go to any fire station and ask them about full moon. And they'll tell you there's a reason why, the word for moon, Luna, There's
Yep.
a reason why it's called lunacy, because people go
Yeah.
crazy under the full.
And and they prepare, like the ERs, they prepare
Mhm.
before the full moon. They're ready.
Yes, yes. And actually, this is an explanation for astrology.
Hmm.
And it's not exactly the same thing. The reason why is, well, first let's set it up. You're being born, and at the exact moment of birth, where you separate from your mom's body, even though you were already a human being, you still were within her body, so you were experiencing the same uh, electrical and gravitational effects of being, like any other organ inside of another
Yeah,
person. You have to be separated to be wholly your own experience. That's why it's when you're born. And it's direct influence versus, people think it's just a made up thing that, and it seems random. It's like, really, it's just when you're born. There's a reason for it, because before you pop out, you're still part of your mom's body,
exactly.
essentially. So when you pop out, it's the first time you are your own self being affected by, okay, you're at a specific geographical location on the earth. Directly above you are alignments of the stars and so forth, like that. However, I got to say, unlike the moon, which does have an actual direct physical gravitational pull, Jupiter's too far away. Okay. Saturn is too far away. So the idea that where the planets are, and they're and it having something to do with gravity, does not hold water scientifically, but energetically it does, because the planets are still have mass and are still displacing space-time. So that might be a scientific example for astrology. Don't know for sure, but that's the closest that I've been able to come up with myself. And I'm not an astrologer, and I don't really follow astrology. Um, don't know whether I would say I believe in it or I don't believe in it. I don't have enough. Here we go. There's that word again. I have not had enough experience, but I've had enough experience with tarot and numerology that I know that works, you know. So yeah, lots of great information coming out in the show.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
Dan saying? Dan saying Day of the Dead is more centered around Mexican beliefs and honoring those that have passed. Yeah, but they had it in Europe way before uh the
Yeah.
Mexican. Yeah. Remember
Hmm.
remember who the Mexicans are too, The the Mexicans, Aztecs and Mayans, Spanish come over, then there's Mexicans. Um and then he says there are different full moons. Each one affects the earth a bit differently. Eh, eh,
Hmm.
maybe. I don't really buy that. It's the same two bodies in space rotating around each other. It's all it is. Sahani, wow, Dan, we also celebrate Day of the Dead, but instead we have days in Hinduism. Right now they are going on and they last for 10 days. We honor our ancestors. Yes, almost every society has that kind of beliefs. You
Yeah.
and they happen at different times. So that's interesting, because in Western tradition, we talk about there's the thinning of the veil specifically around Halloween.
Yes, there is.
But other parts of the world, it's at different times. You got to do a lot of research, Michelle. I'm just going to say that.
I
So,
know.
but this has been fantastic, this show. Let's scroll back and see if we missed anybody coming in and see if there's any questions. Nicholas came in. We haven't seen Nicholas in a
Hi,
while.
Nicholas.
And Nicholas is saying workshops equal experience. Well, this has been like a mini workshop, but I think Nicholas is wanting us to put on some more workshops at the Tarot Guild. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. And let me see. Deviani wanted a general reading on what's coming in. And then what was it you were pulling cards on?
I can't remember who asked. She had a dream.
Oh, the dream. Yeah, I think was that Sean? I think that was Sean. Yeah, did you ever get anything on her
So
dream of giving birth to a boy?
I I pulled some cards. I got the ring and I got the mountain. And this this is my Lenormand deck, and I don't have my box handy, of course, but this is my pagan Lenormand.
Oh, there
Okay.
you go. Pagan.
And this ring is indicating that you are giving birth to a new spirituality in your life. Okay. And that pain of the epidural you felt, that is the obstacles that you are going to face while you are on your way, because you got to climb, you got to go through this little path here and climb this mountain to get to this path, to get to this new spiritual place in your life that you're about to come into.
Hmm,
Okay, because you're going to manifest this birth, this spiritual phase.
that is
And that
really cool.
epidural, it's not going to be easy. It's going to hurt, but you're going to make it.
Ouch.
Okay. So that's what I am getting for you.
Oh, that's cool. I
And I
can't
hope that is helpful for you.
I can't imagine. Deviani had that can I get a general reading on what's coming in? Okay, so I feel like you're not really happy with something right now. Here we got the 4 of Cups. She's looking down at these 3 cups. They may be cups are emotions. So it may be, multiple emotional situations. It could be options you're not happy with. There's the 4th option being offered that you're not aware of up here. But just in general, that you're feeling like this, and then the next card is the 2 of Swords. There's some decision you're unable or unwilling to make. Swords are thoughts and ideas, and she's got 2 crossed swords here. She's also blindfolded as well. Okay. And so sometimes you're just unwilling to make the decision. Sometimes you're unaware that there's a decision that needs to be made. The possibility of going down 2 different paths and picking one, for instance. And sometimes you're just unable to make the decision. But that is what's going on going forward. Tarot wants you, or you could say the universe wants you to know that you have all the skills and abilities that you need. All right, with the 9 of Wands, and then the King of Swords, being rational and methodical and thoughtful about this. Notice he's got the 1 sword where you currently have the 2 swords. Okay, so this is post making the decision, focusing in on that one path or one idea. So that's what I'm getting for you, Deviani. Hope that helps you out. Let's see if was there another question. Suhani wanted to know what Subham's next move towards me is going to be. Ooh, okay. That sounds like a Michelle question for the
Okay.
the Lenormand.
The pagan Lurnamon. Okay. What is sub's next move?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I have the moon and the whip. Okay. And I have the ship. So his intentions are to cut some bad things out of the out just out of I don't know whose life, his life, your life, um, and maybe go on a journey. Hey, sorry, um, or make a movement that is coming up. I am so sorry. Um, but there is something that is coming that he wants to do. It's whether it's a journey or making a movement. Um, I'm just feeling like he wants to go on a trip with you. I
A
feel like his
cruise.
intentions are pretty pure with the moon.
A cruise.
Yes, a cruise.
Go on a cruise. Go on a cruise. Yeah. Oh, I see towards the bottom, Sean said, did you get anything about my dream? But you just did that. Yeah. Yay. He has a pet dog too for confirmation. Did you hear that? And I think that's all the, reading questions, but I'm looking back here. There was something else that someone said in chat. I think it was Sean was talking about.
I am so sorry, guys.
Sean had said something during the paganism conversation about, I always thought paganism was like Wicca. I was misinformed. No, you're not misinformed.
No.
Wicca comes under paganism. And,
Mm-hmm.
witchcraft, Wicca. Wicca is like the modern diveration of it or whatever.
And a lot of a lot of people who do not want to be called Wiccans
Mm-hmm.
are called just like to be called pagan.
Right, right. I mean, even to this day, there's a stigma
Mm-hmm.
with the term Wicca or witchcraft,
Yeah.
and Wicca is like, for a lot of people, an attempt to uh, make witchcraft nice, nice.
Yes.
Basically, it's like when Radley Valentine took the tarot deck and created an angel's tarot.
Yes.
And other people have created uh tarot decks that, get rid of all the scary imagery. The trying to think of an example here. Death becomes transition, and
Yes.
the devil, becomes attachment, things like that. um it, you know it's not quite, but almost the dumbing down of the tarot. And Wicca is kind of like, I don't know because I'm on the outside, but looking in, it's almost like a whitewashing. You
It is. It's like bringing,
Wicca is airy fairy and more nice, where
yes.
witchcraft has this negative connotation, almost evil,
Mm-hmm.
and it never was. It's wise woman, and it's alchemy, and it's herbs, and
Mm-hmm.
ritual, and things like that. There's nothing bad about it. It's trying
Mm-mm.
to create effect within the physicality is all it is.
Yep.
you Now people can take anything. You could take a hammer and you can drive a nail, or you can drive it into Dan's head, you know. So, you could do something productive and creative or destructive with anything,
Yeah.
right? If witchcraft and Wicca are, affecting the physical realm, anything that creates an effect, that effect can be used positively or negatively.
Hmm.
It's as simple as that. Only humans attach negativity or positivity to things. Have you ever
Right.
have you ever noticed that?
Yep.
In fact, if
Sure.
if the aliens showed up at our planet with hundreds, if not thousands of starships, and they all beamed all 8 billion of us off the planet tomorrow, and the planet was just left with
Oh,
the fauna and the flora,
oh yeah.
suddenly there's no evil.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you still got things going on. You still have the tiger, attacking the animal, but that's for food and survival. There's nothing,
Exactly.
there's nothing evil about it, you see.
It's different. Yeah.
Only humans ascribe these judgments of this is evil, not, and it's
And
funny,
that's where, yeah,
it's one
that's
of the
why I don't do Wicca, because Wicca has, it's not that their creeds and their decrees and their laws are wrong or bad, but again, I'm not out to follow man's rules. And Wicca was
exactly.
created by a man.
It
And
doesn't matter whether it's witchcraft, Wicca, Judaism, Christianity, Muslim, anything where there's a written document telling
yep,
you that, these are the prescribed rituals, these are the things, this is the beliefs, you know, even though I would almost take witchcraft or Wicca over the monotheistic
oh yeah,
religions. But even like you said, even they have their own thing, and it's best to start from zero
yes.
and then experience yourself
Hmm.
and not follow any prescribed notions that other people have, because they're quite often wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah, more often than right. Doesn't
Ex-
mean doesn't mean you can't read the Quran or read the Bible and find wisdom in it,
exactly.
but they have a lot of things wrong.
I studied under Wicca. I've studied under Christianity. I've studied world religions. I've taken it in college. Just you learn a lot. I got my
Right.
high priestess degree through the Wiccan religion.
But see, they pick and choose things, and
Hmm.
it's not just the fact that the document is written by men. It's also the fact that then here, thousands of years later, you are interpreting it. So if we look at the laws in Leviticus, and they find that one line that they say, it's actually um, mis what's misinterpreted in language, um, translate it wrong. It's actually there's been some people that have come out that have shown how in the Hebrew it's mistranslated. But
Yep.
even with the mistranslation, when it talks about like, men shall not lie with men like they lie with women, which they say is proof against, you shouldn't practice homosexuality or quote unquote be gay.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
But two lines back, it says it is an abomination unto God to eat shellfish. There goes your lobster, your shrimp, oysters, clams, the whole
I'm
thing.
I'm okay with that because I'm allergic,
Yeah.
but
But
other
I'm doing,
people aren't,
yeah, most people aren't. And
right?
so I'm doing an abomination every Friday because I do, like last night I did a shrimp linguine, it was, oh my God, it was so good. Anyway,
Well, the
yeah,
one that gets me is the one that says not to wear clothing made of two different types of material.
two or more different threads. Yeah, two or more different types of material. Yeah.
Yep,
And
that
almost
that was thrown out.
all modern fabrics are 50% rayon and 50% cotton and 30% this and
Yeah,
20% that, and almost all of them are
yeah.
in. And so you can't pick out one line
Mm-mm.
and say, oh yeah, this is what God is telling you, that you should not practice homosexual acts, but then at the same time not also go by what it says two lines above that,
Yeah,
or three lines above that, where it says you should not just not wear, you should stone to death anybody that creates a fabric out of more than two fabrics, two different substances.
yeah,
You know, you can't pick and choose things. Either it all has no relation to modern life, or you have to follow all 166 or whatever Levitican laws are.
yeah.
How many Levitican laws are
Oh
there?
my gosh, I don't even remember a lot.
How many laws in Leviticus? Oh, 251 it says.
Wow.
Laws, commandments, and rules altogether. Yeah, you either follow the whole thing, or it all has no effect or connection. I don't know how to say it, with modern life. We know that we can eat shellfish and wear clothing with made of multiple materials, and we know that there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
you know Even if there was some kind of reasoning behind it, like not eating pork, for instance. A lot of cultures ban the eating of pork, and it's true, there are diseases and it's dangerous if you don't know how to cook it properly, or if you don't cook it properly. um I mean, heck, there's salmonella with eggs, if you don't cook your eggs properly.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
exactly.
it's worse with pork. I mean, I forget what they are right now off the top of my head. Someone in chat can let us know, but it's like, yeah, I can see saying no, don't eat anything with a cloven hoof, because there's too much danger. They don't say that that's why, but that's what a lot of people think where it comes
Mm-hmm.
from. But that has no effect on modern life, because we know a lot more now. So we know that you can properly prepare and cook pork.
Exactly.
We know that you can properly clean and cook shellfish. Um, the thing with the clothing made from different threads or different substances, or however you want to put that, I forget how it actually reads, but
Yeah,
I
they don't.
I don't know what it was with
I
that,
well, I think they
but
didn't have the technology we have. So
yeah.
when they would sew certain clothes together, the materials would probably fray or mold or
Well, there's another aspect to it that I think is what they were going for. What a lot of people don't realize is that the laws of Leviticus you see, one of the tribes, the Levites, which is where Leviticus comes from,
Mm-hmm.
the Levites were the priests out of,
That's right.
out of the 12 tribes. So,
Yep.
so 11 tribes would make income, okay, but the 12th tribe, the Levites, okay, took care of the temple, and that's why there was tithing. People think there was tithing to the church and to God. Actually, the tithing was each of the 11 tribes would give 10% of whatever. Of course, it wasn't necessarily money back then. It's like you got uh
Yeah,
10 sheep, you'd give one sheep to the temple and to the Levites.
exactly.
That's why there was tithing, okay? And the Levitical laws were to keep the temple holy and clean. And so that might be why it's prescribed that you wear clothing
Yeah,
like strict cotton, all cotton,
right. Mm-hmm. Purity.
to the purity. Yeah, see,
Yep.
that makes a lot of sense. Now, what doesn't make sense is that A, it's not explained that that's why
Yeah,
specific,
right.
and two, if you don't follow it, you're supposed to be stoned to death.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
What? What? See, and that's the crazy thing. The people that go way deep, far off to the right wing wackos, and I mean, they want to get all of the gays and lesbians together and the trans folks, and they want to stone them to death.
They do.
But two lines earlier, it said, so that shirt you have on that's 20% lycra, we sorry, right-wing wacko person, we have to stone you to death. Oh, you just came out of Red Lobster, we have to
Oh,
stone
your
you to
turn.
death.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, this is where it gets crazy. It's like uh these are Bronze Age people that don't know shit, and you're and
Exactly.
you're trying to follow the crap that they wrote down. How about you just actually experience nature directly
Right.
and try some other things, like neurolinguistics and hypnosis and tarot and numerology? Work with crystals. I mean, get direct experiences of effects that are direct, and also streaming of information, things like that you can do with tarot and numerology, and meditation. And there's different types of meditation. Oh, I want to get into that at some point. But yeah, I mean, basically that's what this whole conversation about paganism, comes down to, I feel, is the difference between belief and experience.
Right. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Melissa came in.
Oh, hi,
Hi,
Melissa.
Melissa. Someone told me I had a phantom in my house. Is there any such thing? So, phantom is just another fancy term for ghost. Ghosts, most people believe, are discarnate entities that just have not moved on. They've not
Yeah.
moved to the collective consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's all. Um, what did Drops of Jupiter said something about in the dark night of the soul, see light coming in soon, question mark. Okay, are you saying you are in the dark night of the soul, and do we see light coming in soon? I think that's what drops means. Can you pull cards on that, Michelle?
Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting because you had to come back on to Zoom. You're not signed in, so it says Zoom user instead of your name.
Oh gosh.
Oh, that's funny. I'm sorry. But so, Melissa, did you want us to do something on your phantom thing there? So while Michelle's pulling on the drops of Jupiter question about, do you see light coming in? I'm in the dark night of the soul. The phantom, let's see. You have the high ground. There's not a big issue here. It's suggesting, um, Melissa, that you, this is the mother card, the mom card, Queen of Pentacles, that you exude the energy of balance and nurturing. You know, so if you're experiencing effects from a phantom or seeing the ghost or what have you, the way you put it, it sounds like someone told you. Someone told me you had a phantom. That doesn't mean you do. Are you getting any, here, back to experience again? Are you getting any actual experiences? You know, knocks at night and, you know, things like that. The main thing is to not have fear. And even if you get the strange noises at night or the wind howling, or, you know, you see the apparition, the main thing is to not react defensively. That's the main thing that's coming through here. And I also got the Emperor, which backs that up. Okay, structure, it's talking about structure. Structure is like your house, but also that the, you know, the Emperor is in charge. You are in charge of your home, and you need to react with compassion. That should be your first thought if you experience the ghost or the phantom, is have compassion. What'd you get, Michelle?
Okay. So I got, yes, there is going to be light coming in. I got the universe card. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. However, we're going to go with the experience again. I got the Two of Wands, which means you need to go out into nature and experience the light, experience nature, gather something physical to help you start feeling in tune. Okay. But I also got the Five of Pentacles. So do not let a thief come in and steal whatever it is you pick up. And it's not a physical thief. This thief lives inside of your mind. Okay. So see how there's two people in the universe? Because this person is you and it's balance. So the male in this card of the universe is the male in this card, which is the Five of Pentacles. Okay. You're in balance here and you're off balance in the Five of Pentacles. So again, don't let yourself steal your own light because it is there for the taking. So I
Awesome.
hope that helps for you.
Oh, and Melissa had feedback. Uh, that must be Ronnie. Is it Ronnie? I can't see nothing. Okay, so Melissa's not like experiencing apparitions, but she thinks it's this Ronnie person. So I pulled more cards and I got uh the Priestess and Temperance, two major arcana cards, big fat yeses. The Two of Pentacles, which is also a yes. The Knight of Swords and Queen of Swords, which is our no's. So it's three yeses, two no's. It's leaning yes that it's Ronnie, but with it being the two major arcana cards are two of the three yeses, it's even stronger in that direction. You know, it probably is. And then the Queen of Swords is just saying that, you know, you should be analytical about this. And, you know, your reaction should be based on thought, not on emotions with this. Yes. And Temperance talking about balance. The Priest is talking about, you know, listen to your own intuition about this. You know, you got this. You know it's him. Okay. And use your own intuition and psychic ability. And then, you know, you want to create balance, maintain balance here. Drops of Jupiter says, heart, thank you, and dove. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
It'll be funny when we go, like if we took a time machine 100 years in the future and everybody was just showing symbols to talk,
Right?
which is what we do in our texts,
Yep.
that it would evolve into that. And the interesting thing is that one, our subconscious mind thinks in symbols.
Mm-hmm.
Two, tarot is symbols.
Yep.
Three, the reason why tarot and oracle decks and Lenormand decks work is because our mind thinks in symbols, and these decks are showing us symbols. God, we
And
gave out so much good information on this show today.
we did. Oh, and the tarot deck I just used is Pagan Tarot.
Pagan tarot. See, there's a pagan tarot, pagan Lenormand,
Yes,
pagan everything.
there
Haha.
is.
Wow. So we answered all the questions
Nice.
as well as, explain like everything in the universe.
Right?
All in one show. All in
And
one.
next week, we're going to talk about how we are connected to the earth.
How we're connected to the earth.
Yep.
Continuing the pagan discussion. Sean
Yep.
says, and hieroglyphics. Don't forget hieroglyphics.
Yes.
Yes.
Hieroglyphics. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So I wanted to let you guys know that, first of all, our coffee thing. Yeah, let me put the link in again, which it's not working. So I got to go back to my other page and recopy the link. Sorry, it's not working. I want to pop this into the chat here. Our link for our coffee page, psychic.cafe/coffee. If you guys want to run out and grab us a cup of coffee, if you've enjoyed the show, learned something new, got a reading, what have you, want to send us some love, psychic.cafe/coffee. But I also wanted to mention, okay, and why is this not working? I have no idea why this is not working. Upcoming show. So tomorrow it's Pamela Steele. Are you going to be here, Michelle?
Oops, I am.
Yeah, even
I
if you're
will be I will be in the chat.
in the chat. Yeah. So Pam is coming back. I know a lot of you love Pamela
Oh
Steele.
yes.
She, yeah, she's going to be back. And then the next show after that is Monday with Charlotte Kornberg.
Woohoo.
And we already mentioned that Michelle's show is going to be on Saturday. I know this one says the 21st for today, but the 28th, back to back Saturday shows. Yeah. So we'll be doing that. And then also, I wanted to mention after your show on the 28th, on the 29th is our next live Zoom discussion and Q&A.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and I know I always say second and fourth Sundays. This month has 5 Sundays, and so
Oh,
we were
yeah.
we were going to do it on the 15th, but we had to postpone because that was a crazy weekend.
Yep.
We are having the 29th. So it's not the fourth Sunday, it's actually the fifth Sunday, but you guys understand. So it's next Sunday. Not this Sunday, not tomorrow. It's next Sunday. Tomorrow is Pamela Steele. But I also wanted to mention that now to join us on these live Zoom discussions, what they are is we're here twice a month doing live Q&A, discussion, and mentoring on everything, your psychic business, your tarot business, tarot and numerology, and psychic readings and everything in general. If you're in my course, answering any of your questions from the course, included in the course are these live sessions. These are those live sessions. Okay. We just bundle them all together. And you have to be you have to be enrolled in my course or be a member of the guild to attend these live Zoom discussions and Q&As. And I wanted to mention that, I've been talking about the fall sale, the back to school sale, and, all the great package deals and everything like that, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
But also you can just get membership. In other words, some people, they're not going to go professional. They're not going to get a certification. They already have a certification from a different organization. They don't need it. They don't need the course. But they want to become a member because there's a lot of benefits to being a member of the guild. It's normally $78 per year, which is still an awesome deal. But
It
right,
is.
yeah. But right now during the fall sale, it's just $67. That's like 558 or something a month. It's
Yeah.
basically it's basically the cost of a latte at Starbucks per
Yeah,
month.
that's pretty good price right there.
Yeah. And so, yeah, you don't have to be a professional. You don't have to be looking to go pro or anything like that. You could just be interested in these topics. Or you could be already a professional and you just want mentoring, you want help with your business, you want the promotional opportunities and so forth. $67. So you get the live twice monthly mentoring, discussion, and Q&A sessions. You get to attend all of our workshops like Nick was talking about earlier.
Right.
Yeah. And promotional opportunities. So we will bring you onto our shows. We will interview you, and you can take those interviews. Then the video, we'll have it on YouTube. You can put it out on your own social media. You can put it on your website and so forth. And then you can come on, like we do the shows during the week with the guest co-host. You can come on as a guest co-host on our shows as well. That's part of the perks
Yep.
of being a member. Yes. And you get your own custom pages and profile and everything on the website. Let me pop those up. Like here's ours, psychic.cafe/dax, psychic cafe dash Michelle. And we have our own private, you get your own blog, which goes in with all the other blogs, but you get your own private blog, your
Yep.
own event section. You can create your own group or groups on different topics and so forth on the website. You can post content, uh, articles with videos, pictures, whatever you want to post, and then we promote that out to
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of people on Facebook, in multiple dozens and dozens of Facebook groups. But as well, we put it on Instagram, we put it on LinkedIn, we put it on we have 2 Twitter accounts. Sorry, X. I refuse to call it X. Anyway,
Right. Right.
yeah.
Well,
And
and
and you
don't
get
forget.
this custom URL
Yeah.
to your profile.
Well, and don't forget, I have my September sale going. Well, it's fall. I no, it's a September sale. My readings are $50. My numerology reports, they're all $50.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's and you can get a hold of me at psychic.cafe/mystic corner. Yep.
Awesome.
And I am working very hard on my Lenormand course. So,
Mm-hmm.
just to give you a sneak peek, I've got, wait. Look, I've got the journal done for part of the journal done for the Lenormand course. Woo. So that's something that'll be handed out for the course when I get it going.
Terrific.
Yeah.
I was just over checking on my page. If you go to psychic.cafe/dax and click on about, you'll see in the welcome to my page section a book session now. If you hover your cursor over that, it's a link. And I just wanted to double check it. If you click on that, it does take you to the sale price. My readings are $69, discounted from $99.99 right now. So if you want to get a reading with me, $69. If you do want to get certification and so forth, let's see. I should mention you can get my course, $299. You can get it for $199, $100 off, and you get your certification, normally $138, and your membership in the guild, normally $78 a month. That's the one I was talking about that's discounted to $67. This is actually even cheaper. This is $300 off total. For just $199, you get my course, certification, and membership. If you don't need the course, you've been a professional for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you just want to get certified and join the guild. First of all, if you're already a member, you took advantage of one of our sales or what have you, like the $67 sale, and you joined the guild. Certification for members is just $69 right now. You go to the private group for members on Psychic Cafe, and in the stream on that page, on that group, sorry, you'll find a post. It's either the first or second post, and there's a link to get the $69 half price certification. Now, if you're not a member yet, right now it's membership is discounted to $67. Certification is half price, $69. But we have a package on the sale page, psychic.cafe/school, where you can get certification and membership for just $99. Yeah, that's even cheaper than the sale prices on both of them. We are giving away the farm here, people. So go over to, I'll pop that in the chat. Go over to psychic.cafe/school and grab the professional certification and membership package. So yeah, there's all, regardless of what you need, there is a special for you right now on the back to school fall sale page, psychic.cafe/school. I just saw Charlotte came in.
Hi, Charlotte.
Wow, she's late. I'm trying to see. Dan and Sean are talking about, or going back and forth about Sean's. She did Africa studies and things, and
Oh, okay.
all kinds of interesting stuff in there. How you doing, Charlotte? Are you going to join us tomorrow when Pamela's here? Cool. Anyway, I guess we're done. There's no more questions
Wow,
in
yeah.
chat. We covered everything. I'm trying to think if we missed anything. I can't think of anything. We covered everything. We covered the sales. We covered your sale, $50 for readings. Mayan 69. We covered all of the membership and course and certification sales and everything like that. I had an interesting email from a potential member. She was actually a member at one time, and then she, kind of got away from it, got away from the guild and stuff, and then now she's back again. And it very illuminating reading, she what she's going through, and she wants to get back into tarot, and she
Right.
wants to do it professionally. And I told her it cannot be a better time, to join the guild. Everything she was asking about, she doesn't know how to do the tech. She doesn't know how to do the social media. She doesn't know how to do, or perhaps can't afford to do, a website. That's why we're here. That's why we have our
Right.
website, Psychic Cafe. You can set up on Psychic Cafe and never have to have your own website, because you get your custom URL with your um any custom pages, any buttons you need, for your readings or what have you. We don't take any percentage or anything like that. It all goes right into your PayPal or Square, or, however you're doing it. What's some of the other ones? I think you have a different,
Clover,
you have something else on yours.
Cash App.
It might be Cash App you have on.
Yeah, I have Cash App and PayPal on there right now.
Right. And a lot of, and that's another thing she didn't know about, was how to do those.
Mm, yeah.
Plus she's wanting to do email readings. I said, yeah, people still do email readings.
Hmm.
But I think mostly she's saying that because, again, she said she barely knows how to Zoom. Like, she can, like, maybe click a link and get into a Zoom. She doesn't know how to set it up or give the link to a client or what have you, or Skype. That's what we're here for. We show you how to do all that stuff. That's what
Exactly. Yeah.
that's that's what these twice monthly meeting things, if I can bring it back up, that's what these are about, guys.
Yeah.
You pop in there and I can share my screen.
Absolutely.
I can show you how to do a Zoom. I can show you how to do, of course, we'll be in a Zoom, so it'll be a little bit odd, but I can show you how to do a Zoom. I can show you how to do Skype. I can show you how to do social media, all these different things, set up your custom pages. And I even create headers and profile pictures and everything for you for your profile on Psychic Cafe. I help people with all of that. If you want to do it yourself, I have the templates for you to do it. I give you the templates. And then later on, if you want your own website, you can get your own website, and we help you with that too. I build websites. So if you don't have the time or the technical inclination or the money to do it, guess what? I don't charge an arm and a leg to do a custom website. So just get,
No,
yeah.
just three souls and
But her
just kidding.
her letter was illuminating. These are the things that professional readers are struggling with.
It really is.
They don't know how to market. They don't know how to use social media. They don't know how to do a website. We're doing all this for them.
I really am bad at social media, really bad at it.
Yeah. And so you can come on and create content, and then we promote it out. People come back, read your content, go to your page, they buy readings from you. You come on these shows, people get to see you, hear you, see how you work and do readings. They get to like you, know you, and trust you. Then they buy readings from you.
And they
No,
get to see how crazy and fun we can be.
no other organization out
Yeah.
there is doing this.
Mm-mm.
No one. That's why um, joining at just $67 for the entire year is so worth it.
It really
The
is.
other thing in her letters that she's struggling with is she's struggling with confidence. And I have worked with literally thousands of readers in the last 20 years of the Tarot Guild. And the number one thing is confidence in doing readings,
Yeah.
confidence and connection. I always say confidence and connection. The other part of it, it's the confidence, it's also the connection to the cards, connection to your subconscious mind, and through your subconscious mind, your higher self. That's where the information is coming from. Now, what does everybody else, that teaches tarot, and organizations that do tarot, what do they talk about? They talk about confidence and stuff and growing your
Hmm.
confidence. They talk about do 100 readings, take 6 months, a year, 8 months, study and do lots and lots and lots of readings. You're going to get confident, you know. But the thing is that confidence comes through being able to do the readings well, which comes from connection to the cards in your subconscious, which that has to come first. And then what happens is you're in this kind of like circular thing, uh, and it ends up taking forever.
Mm-hmm.
What we do different here is we have techniques in NLP, hypnosis, and life coaching to help build your confidence and at the same time your connection to your higher self, your subconscious, and the cards, learning and retaining the information, and you can become a confident reader in days, weeks, even hours compared to months, years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's another reason to join. We're going to be doing a lot of that because the more I look at it, and then, that email that I got from Nancy, actually a couple emails from her, um, she said she's going to join the guild again, and we can help her with all of those issues. But it's not just the technical issues, it's that confidence, and we have lots of techniques for that. Can take you through hypnosis sessions, NLP sessions, life coaching, and help you become a confident reader, a master reader now, not in the future. And no one else is doing that, just us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you see that stuff. We were talking about this in private the other night after the show, Ellie and me and Michelle. You've got these other people out there with their $800, $900,000 courses, um, and expensive memberships and things like that. They all claim to help you become a confident reader. Uh,
Right.
it takes a really long time. None of them do what we do.
No, they don't.
Dan says, "Hey Sean, a good topic might be African headhunters, what the myths are and what the true beliefs are in culture." I just love sometimes just seeing the conversations, in the chat here.
Oh,
Charlotte said it would be awesome to hang out with you and Pamela. Yeah, Charlotte, tomorrow I'll send you the Zoom link, and you can pop off. You can pop on with
oh,
Pamela and I on the show tomorrow. Yeah. Alrighty. So it is 12:59.
it
2 hours.
is. Wow.
Time to get out of here. We had a lot of
Yep,
fun and no phone calls, but I feel like we did so much.
we did. We
And
covered a lot today.
absolutely, absolutely. So I can't wait for next week. Tell them again the topic.
Um, how we are connected to the earth.
How
Yeah.
we are connected to the earth.
Yep.
Awesome. So no outro music because again, no Blog Talk Radio. I don't even know if I want to even attempt it tomorrow.
Right.
I mean, I just like popping into the Zooms now. And then I can take this audio and I can go upload it to Blog Talk.
Yeah. Yep.
And then it becomes a podcast and it goes out to all the podcast uh, places and locations and everything like that.
Yes.
There you go.
And
Well,
in
that,
all reality, the
mhm.
next show is going to actually be how we're connected to the elements because earth, air, fire, water, spirit, we're connected to all of them.
Mhm.
So, how we're connected to the elements. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. And really a lot of times when people say connected to the earth, they are uh unconsciously talking about the being connected to the elements because it's all made when people say earth, it's not just the planet earth or soil. they're
Right.
they're talking about physicality,
Yep.
and nature and everything in nature. And that is all made up of the five elements.
Exactly. So there we go.
Yeah.
Connection to the earth.
In
I love
fact,
it.
in fact, we should promote out there in social media that way, that we're getting back to a conversation about the elements and your connection to them.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
I
thanks
like it.
everybody for being here.
Thanks,
Michelle,
everybody.
Mystic
Have a great
Farm.
night,
Bye, everyone.
afternoon.
Okay.
Wow.
And I even remember to stop the recording. Yay.
Nice.